Chapter 13. I glance up at her. She's approximately my size. She has deep brown hair with blue eyes containing freckles. Not many of them spanning her entire face, but several around her eyes. Similar to mine, but hers are quite visible. She's dressed in a Fallout Boy shirt, along with black sweatpants. No way. Liam's sister is a Fallout Boy enthusiast? You're a Fallout Boy enthusiast too? I practically shout suddenly. She likely thinks I'm a wild fan. I'm a massive fan, just not one that's obsessed. Oh my god, yes. She places her hands over her mouth. We haven't even known each other for mere seconds, but I can sense we will become great friends. I'm now positioned in front of her and we both kind of scream in a fangirl manner simultaneously. Likely because of the scream, we heard rushing up the stairs. The door burst open again, revealing a concerned Alpha. Man, what's with this family and bursting through doors? Liam examined the room, checking if there's any danger. Once he sees there was none, he frowns at both of us. Jess, I suppose you have met Madison. Thanks for the introduction, brother, but I've got this. Hi, my name's Madison. I'm assuming from the nickname your name is Emily. Yes. Pleasant to meet you. I smile at her, being courteous. No need to be formal, you're my Luna after all. She laughs. Yeah, but I'm not really into being addressed as Luna or anything formal unless I must. Understood. She nods her head in agreement. So what do you guys want for dinner? Liam asks. Perhaps we can go out for dinner, Madison says with a hopeful expression to her brother. I turn to him and see the expression on his face. It's the absolutely not look. You know how you understand what a person is going to respond before they speak it because of the expression on their face? Yeah, that's the face. No. He says. See? Why not? Madison says with a frown. Because someone is pursuing Emily. I will not allow her outside of this house until I'm completely sure that the danger is gone. He turned and walked out of the room, leaving me and Madison by ourselves. Wait, someone's pursuing you? She asks, facing me with worry written on her face. Yeah, when I was in the hospital, someone placed a note on the bathroom mirror making it obvious. I looked down, not wanting to bring it back up. Well, you can't go shopping. She crosses her arms with a thoughtful face. You know the face people make when they are thinking. Shopping, already? I have some clothes I brought with me from my uncle's house. I pointed towards me and Liam's closet. Well, actually it's just mine now because I have a separate walk-in closet, but yeah, it was his before it was mine. Well, let's take a look, shall we? She walked into the closet and I could hear hangers sliding and drawers opening and closing until she walked out with one of my favorite 21 Pilots hoodies and one of my shirts. Well, I say you have good taste in hoodies and music, just not in shirts. Yep, we gotta go shopping as soon as this passes over. Hey. I walk over to her and take the shirt she was referring to and hugged it. This is one of my favorites. You need better taste, but I'm here now so it's all good. She pats me on the head and takes the shirt from me in the middle of our hug and puts them back in the closet. I huffed and she said, you might not be able to go shopping, she says, exiting the closet. But that doesn't mean I can't. She crosses her arms with a smirk on her face. What does that mean? I say, hesitant. I can get you some clothing I think would look amazing on you. She smiles and adds, you don't have much in that closet and I'd like to welcome you to our pack. Thanks, Madison, but you don't have Dash. She cuts me off. Yes, I do, and just call me Maddie. Okay, Maddie. I smile and start walking downstairs. Once we are downstairs, I see Liam in the living room sitting on the couch focusing at a wall in front of him. Earth to Liam. I yell at the bottom of the stairs. I cross my arms because it was as if I hadn't even spoken anything. I walk behind him and start running my hands through his hair. It's really soft. Do werewolves have naturally smooth hair? After a minute or two he gets up from the couch and suddenly picks me up. Liam, let me go. I could barely say that sentence because I was laughing. He sat back down on the couch and sat me on his lap. You love it when I'm on your lap, don't you? I smirk. Yep, he smiles and rests his head on my chest, wrapping his arms around me. I hug him to me and start running my hands through his hair again. It's so smooth and right there, how could I not? Does your mom and dad live here too? I ask curiously. I don't know much about his family besides his sister. No, my mom lives in another house in the area and so do some other pack members. This is a huge house fitting many of them, but some like to live human lives too. Get a job, have a family, go to human schools. I wanted to ask about his dad, but maybe his mom and dad split and he doesn't discuss him much. I'm his mate, he should be able to talk to me about anything. Hey Liam. I hum softly. Yeah, he raised his head from my chest and looks at me. You know you can tell me anything, right? I look into his eyes. Don't look into those, you'll forget what you're talking about. Yes, why, what's wrong? Concern was written on his face and he frowned. Even though I don't like it when he worries or is upset, his frowning face is adorable. Why haven't you mentioned your dad? His face went blank and his eyes became emotionless and I quickly regret saying anything. Liam, I'm sorry, I'll leave you alone. I'm such an idiot, I shouldn't have said anything. I raised myself up to leave but he pulled me back down on his lap. No, stay. I'll explain everything. You're not an idiot, you are curious. He fixes a strand of my hair that was covering my face and put it behind my ear. Okay. I say, waiting for an explanation. My father died of a rogue attack a couple years ago. When he did, my mom took over the alpha position until I was 18. Now that I am 18, I'm the alpha of the pack and took his place, even though no one could replace him. He was a good alpha and I hope to live up to him and make him proud. During the speech, his eyes turned a little dark and looked off at the wall behind me. Once he was done, I kissed him on the cheek. I'm always here for you, I hope you know that. I say and smile. He leans close so our lips are brushing each other's and brings his hand to my cheek. I know, princess. Our lips connect and we kiss slowly and passionately. I can feel the sexual tension between us as my hips start to grind against his lap. We stop kissing and he moves his lips to my neck, leaving soft kisses down it. I hold in a moan and bring my lips down on his more forcefully. We start kissing again and it was brought to an end when Madison said, "You guys are making me wish I had a mate." We stopped kissing and we both looked over to where she was standing. She was standing at the bottom of the steps with her arms crossed with a frowning face. Embarrassed, I blushed like a tomato and buried my face in Liam's chest. He chuckled at my reaction. You'll find the one someday, just hopefully not too soon. I want to find him or her now. I'm too impatient, she laughs and heads towards the kitchen. She's bisexual? I need to start getting to know her more. When Sophie came out as gay, I was proud of her, more than she probably thought. I squealed a weird way, of course happily, and she will never let me forget. Liam spaces out for a moment. Earth to Liam, what's up? I ask. That brought him out of his trance. Sorry, Noah has been mind linking me about a follow-up meeting. He wants me to leave now. But it's my first time having dinner here, I thought you'd be here. I pouted. I know, I'm sorry princess, but we have more information on who wrote that note and we are trying to figure out more as soon as possible. Okay, just find me as soon as you get back. I hug him before he got up and he kissed my forehead. Will do. I move over and he gets up and goes upstairs. So did I hear he's leaving before dinner? Yeah, I guess. I look down at the floor feeling sad. I really wanted to have dinner with him today. It's the first day of me living in this house with him and the pack and he won't be at dinner. Good, we can have a movie night. I'll order some pizza and we can watch anything you'd like. She picks up her phone and dials a number. Okay, I pick Beauty and the Beast. I smile as I hear her ordering the pizza. Chapter 14. I walk upstairs and walk into her room. Her room is a little smaller than me and Liam's room, with the bed containing a bunch of white and beige pillows with designs on them. The covers had a plant-like design on them and were also white. Her room had a white and gray theme, which sounds very boring, but not in this case. There is a window right beside her bed with thin white curtains, and a chair in front of it with a pillow that looks like the ones on the bed. And then there was a beautiful desk that's glass so you can see yourself through it, and it had a plant with pink flowers on top, giving a pretty touch to the whole room itself. There were other photos of her when she was younger with Liam and her parents on them too, with other little things. The photo of her room is on the top. Feel free to picture whatever you want for her room. I sit on the bed and turn on the flat screen TV that's on a white wooden desk in the front of her room. I know how to operate this TV, as it is similar to the one I had at my house before. I go to Netflix and wait for it to load. While it's loading, I check my phone. I haven't heard from Sophie lately. Maybe she got her phone taken away. I hope she's alright. Being away from her is difficult. I look back at the screen and see it's fully loaded onto the home screen of Netflix, and I flip through the popular on Netflix slide and see that Beauty and the Beast is on it. I press on it but don't start the movie so I can wait for Madison. I hear footsteps in the hall, so I call out, "Hey Maddie, do you want to wait until the pizza's here or start the movie now?" I wait for a response but I don't hear anything, so I get up from the bed and walk to the entrance of the door. I don't see anyone in the hall, so I walk down the hall and look from the top of the stairs to see if she had just forgotten something. "Madison. Were you just up here?" I call out. "No, I'll be up in a second. Sorry, I'm taking a while. I had to use the bathroom too." No one's supposed to be in the house. Of course this is the pack house, but the other pack members have other houses they live at and aren't in this house at night. Normally in horror movies, searching for what made sounds or anything out of the ordinary is a bad thing. You'd yell at the screen, "Don't go in there," knowing they would anyway. Well, it's my turn. I walk down the hall slowly, looking into every room, but sure enough found nothing. I heard loud footsteps coming from the stairs and my heartbeat starts to quicken. I turn around ready to punch someone when I see it's just Madison. "Hey, the pizza's almost dash." "What's wrong?" She sees my worried expression and I try to explain as much as possible. "I was in your room setting up the movie and I heard someone in the hall. I checked all the rooms and you said you weren't up here." I rushed out. "What are you trying to say?" Her eyes widened, already knowing the answer. "I think there's someone in the house." She suddenly realized what was going on and started staring at the wall, but it's not the time. "Maddie, why are you staring at the wall?" I ask. I was mind-linking Liam and Noah about this. They won't be happy that someone broke into the house. They're on their way and they sent guards to patrol the border and keep guard of the house. "What about if someone's in here?" I whisper, my voice laced with fear. "I'll protect you. If this is a werewolf, I'll need to take care of this." She all of a sudden straightened up and started walking down the hall, but she stopped. "Emily." She sounded worried again, looking at something on the wall. "What is it?" "There's writing on the wall. Did you notice this?" My eyes widened and my heart raced even more at the sound of someone being in the house. Of course we knew before this, but this just proved the fact. I slowly walked over to where she was standing and read the wall out loud. "See how easy it is to get my hands on you? I'll leave you alone. For now." Unknown, I was frozen to my spot reading the writing on the wall over and over. So no one's in the house anymore. But how did someone get past the guards on patrol at nights on the regular and past Madison without them hearing or smelling them? They have better hearing and sense of smell than I do. Madison is mind-linking Liam and the others, warning them about the writing on the walls. Then we hear the doorbell ring. Madison looked quickly toward me in a panicked look and we both started down the stairs. We went to the door and Madison jumped. "Sorry, Liam is really upset right now. He's yelling through the mind link not to open the door." "I'll do it then. I want to know who this creep is," I say and slowly turn the knob on the front door. Once the door is open, I brace for impact. "Hello." I let out a breath I didn't even know I was holding and smiled at the pizza man. Madison went to go get her money and pay for the pizza. Once he leaves, we stuff our faces with pizza, rethinking everything. "I don't think I want to watch the movie anymore. I'm sorry, Maddie." I look over at her and she nodded her head, probably just wanting to sleep off today's events. We finish eating and we both go up to our rooms. Once I'm in me and Liam's room, I get dressed in one of his black shirts and some black shorts I use for pajamas. I climb into the bed and drift off to sleep, hoping I won't get any nightmares. I was awakened to an arm wrapped around my waist and what felt like someone was breathing on my neck. I felt the familiar sparks and realized it was Liam, and I instantly relaxed. Liam stirs in his sleep and I carefully turn myself around so we are now facing each other. His arms are around my lower back and I try going back to sleep. Keyword, try. I couldn't. I wanted to talk to him about everything, but he's asleep and waking him up seemed cruel. He's cute in his sleeping state, and I just realized this is the first time we have slept together since the hospital. Not have sex, but like slept together. I smile to myself and trace his face. I lightly trace over his jaw, his nose, and his lips. He smiled in his sleep, but only he wasn't asleep. He opened his eyes and I looked at him curiously. How long have you been awake? He smirked. Ever since you turned yourself into this position that you're in right now. I curse myself for waking him up and he just smiled at me, but his face immediately turns into a frown. He quickly starts roaming his eyes all over me for any signs of something. Liam? What are you doing? Are you hurt? Are you okay? Any bruises? Anything hurt? Anything bad happened to you? I swear I'm gonna kill that son of a bitch as soon as I find him, he whispers softly and cups my cheek. Hey, I'm okay. I put my hand on his cheek and he leans into my touch. He plants a small kiss on my lips and he moves into a sitting position. I do the same, the writing on the wall. Did you? I pointed towards the door that led to the halls and he seemed to understand what I meant. I read it. I won't let anyone hurt you, I promise. I hug him tightly and nod my head. Let's go to sleep. Chapter 15. I wake up with heavy arms around my waist and smile. I never thought I'd have a werewolf as a mate. I never knew they even existed beyond the fairy tales and the books. It's something you would only have in a fantasy. But here I am, living a life I'd only think happened in my nightmares/dreams. I have someone or something after me, but at least I know I have a pack behind me. Werewolves are pretty strong, so it would be one heck of a fight. I'm just hoping whatever it is can just find something else to do with its time other than torturing me. Liam says I'll be a Luna. I'm still piecing together what that'll be like. Today he told me his pack members will be coming to the pack house to welcome their Luna. Once me and Liam are done completing the mating process, I'll be officially Luna. He did say that's whenever I'm ready. He said once that's over with there will be a Luna's ball where I'll be officially named Luna. I'll have to do this ritual that all of the other named Lunas before me have done. It all sounds pretty fancy and sophisticated. I don't wear dresses often, so this is the first time Liam or anyone here has seen me in a dress. Last time anyone's ever seen me in a dress was my 8th grade formal. I looked chubby in my navy blue dress. I look up at his sleeping figure and I looked over his shoulder as gently as possible so I wouldn't wake him up, and checked the alarm clock. 8:23 a.m. I knew the pack was coming over at 2 o'clock so I could stay in bed with this sleepy head a little longer. I tried getting out of his iron-like grip but his arms wouldn't let me go. I eventually slipped out of his grip and pulled myself up in a sitting position and looked out the window. The night before I opened the windows so in the morning I could look out the windows without getting up. I looked out into the woods and it was quiet, so I felt calm. I stretched my arms out and let out a yawn and I felt arms go around my waist, making me jump a little. Once I knew who it was, tingles gave me a hint. I relaxed into his back behind me as his arms pulled me to his chest. Good morning, sleepyhead. I say without looking up at him, smiling. Good morning, princess. His voice sounded husky from him just waking up. It sounded very sexy. Before I could turn my head to look at him, he started attacking my neck with kisses. He turned me around so I was facing him and I put my arms on his back, slightly scratching it. I tried to keep moans from escaping my lips as he kept going lower and lower until he found my sweet spot. I couldn't help it when I let out a breathy moan. He stopped kissing my neck and a smirk was plastered on his face, satisfied with the effect he had on me. I pressed my lips to his and we shared a fast-moving kiss. It was needy, like we couldn't get enough of each other. I found my hands moving under the front of his shirt, feeling his abs and himself. I want to take his shirt off and see those abs. But then I realized where this might be going and saw this was a time to stop. Liam, we should stop. I placed my hands on his chest and lightly pushed on his chest, telling him to stop. Okay. He stopped kissing my neck again and eyed me up and down. "What?" I asked, curious. "Nice shirt you got there." He smirked as he realized I had one of his shirts on. He thinks he can make me embarrassed? Well, two can play at that game. I got up from the bed, and before I went away from the bed I leaned to whisper in his ear, "Nice boner." I smirked and walked away, not missing the embarrassed expression on his face. I laughed and went downstairs to get me some breakfast. I usually don't eat breakfast, so this is a big change, but Liam said he wanted me to eat more and I agreed I needed to. Some days I wouldn't even eat lunch because my aunt and uncle wouldn't give me money or buy me anything, and I just got used to it. So eating lunch and breakfast will be kind of hard at first to remember, but I'll manage. I walked down the stairs and into the kitchen to grab some Pop-Tarts and apple juice. I love me some apple juice, and Pop-Tarts put in the toaster is delicious. The warm, sweet crunchiness is what I'm gonna be eating from now on. Even though I haven't eaten them in a while, it's still burned in my memory. I grab the Pop-Tarts from one of the many cabinets of the house and take one out of the box and plop one into the toaster. I hear footsteps and I turn around to see Noah. Well, if it isn't the Luna herself, he smiles at me, walking into the kitchen. "Hey Noah. I haven't seen you in a while." I think about it and I haven't been to school in a while either. Oh no, what about my classwork? My grades? Senior year just started for me and I'm already messing up. He hugs me while I thought about school, and without noticing I frowned. Why the frown? You acted happy a moment ago. Just thinking about school. Where do they think me and Liam are at? Well, the principal is a werewolf along with some people at school, so they know you've been adjusting to a new life and all that's been happening and understand. Liam's supposed to be getting some work and tests you have to make up, he says, but then frowns as well. He hasn't told you yet, has he? Told me what? I frown. Seeing people frown makes me want to frown instantly. He's pulling you out of school. What? And he doesn't have the nerve to tell me. I'm fine with it because I don't want to go, but still. What about my senior year? Calm down, weirdo. He motioned towards my Pop-Tart that is now popped out of the toaster. Oh, I didn't even realize it did that already. I got a plate. With the help of Noah, I'll remember where everything is at some point. Just not right now. I have my apple juice and my freshly warm Pop-Tart and sit on the couch with Noah. He thought since everything was happening he'd have the school send you work and me help you with it. Me being like a tutor or a teacher that's not licensed. He was serious, but then he laughed at the last part. Oh, okay. That makes sense, I guess. I say, taking a bite of my Pop-Tart. Have you found your mate yet? No, I wish I would soon though. It sounds so amazing. He looks down, upset, fiddling with his thumbs. I'm sure you'll find her soon. I put my hand on his shoulder and reassure him. Thanks, he smiles. No problem. Hey, the pack is supposed to come over soon. I better get ready. I take the last bite out of my Pop-Tart and drink some of my apple juice and run up the stairs, hearing Noah laughing from downstairs at me. Time to get ready. I whisper to myself. Chapter 16. Liam informed me it wouldn't be official, but I'm still planning to get dressed up somewhat. I'll maintain my usual appearance, which is denim, but I selected a burgundy-colored cropped shirt that wraps around my lower neckline and reveals my shoulders. I wouldn't be permitted to wear this shirt at school because it displays excessive skin. Perhaps I'd understand the belly portion, but they behave like shoulders are such a major issue. Simply control your hormones and everything will be fine. I also put on some adorable black ballet flats Madison allowed me to use. She mentioned she's planning to go shopping after the gathering for me so she wouldn't miss it. Additionally, it's required. Everyone's planning to be present, and so I've been told. Nobody understands why. I'll be a shock. I glance in the reflection one final time and I'm pleased with how wonderful I appear today. I bathed yesterday and plaited my hair, so when I released my hair, it was lovely and wavy. Everyone inquires if my hair shade is genuine and also if my waves are natural. I consistently answer yes, and they praise me. That's one of the qualities I've constantly appreciated about myself, my hair. Sometimes it's completely frizzy and dull, but then if it becomes too frizzy, I cleanse it, it always assists. Then there are my eyes, pale blue that possess the capability to appear gray if I was melancholy, and emerald when truly joyful. I descend downstairs and notice everyone's gaze on me. Wow, that was quick. Some individuals just gawk while others murmur into people's ears. Now I'm truly anxious. Liam's mother is expected to be here as well. Madison comes down the steps behind me and places her palm on my shoulder, detecting my uneasiness. I turn my head to her and grin and attempt to locate Liam. I feel more at ease when I discover him in the family room conversing to someone I don't recognize. Well, I don't recognize almost anyone here. I approach him and place my arm around his, embracing close to him. He probably detects my discomfort too, so he kisses me on the forehead. Hey Mom, I want you to meet my partner, Emily. Oh shit, this is his mother, oh gosh. Not prepared, abandon mission. Hello Mrs. Knight, pleasant to meet you. I say and extend my hand for her. She grins sweetly and shakes my hand. Don't be so official, call me Caroline. I smile back and she pulls me into an embrace. I've been fantasizing of the day I could meet my son's partner. I just didn't realize she'd be so gorgeous. I flush and smile embarrassed. Thank you. She releases and she sees me blushing. Don't be so surprised I said that. Boys must be queuing at your entrance. They better not be, I'll silence them real quick. Liam says in mostly a growl. Yeah, relax Mr. Alpha. She pats his shoulder playfully and walks into the kitchen. Well, I appreciate your mom. I laugh, embracing Liam, resting my head against his chest. I knew you would, I'm just pleased she appreciates you too. He rests his chin on my head and kisses my forehead again. You guys are making me want to vomit. Maddie says, walking up to us, making a fake choking sound. Quiet it. I say, smiling. Whatever, just want to get snacks, she says, pointing towards the kitchen. I'm not really that hungry. I tell her, still embracing Liam. We have cotton candy ice cream, she says, crossing her arms and smirking. She knows my weakness. Well, time for me to go into the kitchen. See ya, Wolfie. I pat Liam's chest and let him go, walking towards the kitchen. I'm halfway there until I feel tingles on my arm pulling me back. By the way, I'm the only one that should see that much skin showing my love, he whispers in my ear, lightly caressing the exposed skin on my stomach. I gasp and slap his arm, then walk into the kitchen. Once I'm in the kitchen, I get a bowl of cotton candy ice cream and start stuffing it into my mouth. I'm trying not to eat too much because that'll make my stomach hurt, and I don't want to do that, especially not when a gathering's about to happen. After a few minutes of me talking to random people that Madison introduces me to, I hear the voice of my partner calling everyone into the family room. I finished my ice cream, so I threw away my plastic bowl and run into the family room. I sit down on the sofa next to Madison as the big and intimidating Alpha speaks to the pack. Hello everyone. You know, I only call gatherings for special occasions. This one will forever burn in my memory, as it is the day you will meet your future Luna. Everyone in the room starts gasping and looking at each other in shock as they took in the news. I felt suddenly nervous knowing I'll have to go up in front of everyone, but at least Liam will be at my side. It'd be a pleasure to introduce my partner, Emily Carter. He gestures for me to come up with him, and I get up from my comfortable spot off of the sofa and walk over to him. I felt everyone's gaze on me as I stood next to Liam. Liam helped me feel better by holding my hand. Everyone cheers, happy that they have finally met who will be their future Luna. I'm doubtful on how good of a leader I'll be to them, but Liam can show me how, and if it was meant to be, how difficult can it be? Liam grins at me and I grin back. She is a human, but I'm confident with my help she can be an excellent Luna to you. Everyone cheers again, making all of my doubts go away. They actually appreciate me. I thought they'd be doubtful on having a human Luna, but they're not. I feel like I see a familiar face in the crowd, but I shrug it off. I don't know any werewolves that I'm aware of. Liam pulls me from behind into himself and I turn around and wrap my arms around him in an embrace. I was doubtful they'd accept me. I lift my head off of his chest to see his expression, which was confused. Why would you think they wouldn't accept you? I'm a human. I look down at the floor, embarrassed. He lifts my head up to make me look at him and I look into his eyes. You'll make an excellent Luna, Jess. They also have no reason to doubt you, they don't know you yet. But that'll change. He grins down at me in reassurance and I grin back. He leans his face down to mine for a kiss and... Emily. I froze. I looked towards the voice that was ruining me and Liam's moment. It was familiar. My eyes lock on a pair that looks just like my own. Aunt Brianna. I look at her in horror, remembering the night that my uncle tried to kill me. My legs began to feel weak and my head felt faint as the emotions from that night ran inside my brain. Liam held me up and let out a blood-curdling growl towards my aunt. My aunt's eyes held confusion, but most importantly, fear. If you are who I think you are, you better start running, because I'm going to rip you piece by piece until there is no more of you. No need for guards. He stared at her with determination in his eyes, but also pure anger. Liam, please calm down. We don't know if she was even like my uncle was. I put a hand on Liam's shoulder and I see him visibly relax. He glares one more time at my aunt and wraps his arms around me protectively. Everyone's now looking at us. I kiss his cheek and whisper, I got this, okay? He nods, letting me go. But if she makes one move, I'll kill her right then and there. He speaks in a low voice so even the others can't hear him. I nod and face my aunt. We have a lot to discuss. I face her and she nods. She takes my hand, avoiding the snarl that rips through Liam's lips as she leads me upstairs. I guide her to my room, or me and Liam's room, and pat down on the bed next to me so she can sit down. She sits down and takes both of my hands in hers. I never expected this would be the way we meet again. She softly chuckles. Me neither, but you've missed a lot. I look down at the floor, remembering that night. Are you a werewolf too? I look up and ask her. Her face becomes bright and she nods. I didn't tell you a long time ago because we aren't supposed to tell anyone our secret. I didn't even tell your uncle I was one until the day he left me. Wait, so this doesn't make any sense. Was he your partner? Why didn't he feel the partner bond then? My head is full of questions and she has the answers I need from her, because she knows a lot more than she lets on. Her face suddenly loses its brightness and tears fill her eyes. He wasn't my partner. My partner was killed by rogues. It's time for you to know everything, dear. I nod my head and let her speak. I can't believe I'm figuring a lot out today, and I'll finally get some closure. But, I'm sad for my aunt. Liam has told me about what losing a partner must feel like. Sure, he hasn't lost his, but he's been told by others who have experienced it. It's really painful and you never get over the loss. When I was 18, a little older than you, I found my partner. He was the most loving person you could have ever met. He treated me perfectly, and of course he had his flaws, but he was still perfect in my eyes. One day rogues attacked our pack and we hadn't known what was going to happen, so we were unprepared. Women and children went to the safe house and the guards, men, and Alpha went to fight off the rogues. 3 people lost their lives that day. The Alpha, this woman who didn't make it to the safe house, and my partner. About a few years later I had accepted the fact I probably wasn't going to have a second chance partner, so I married your uncle. For some reason your mom didn't have the wolf gene and you didn't become a werewolf either. What was your partner's name? I ask, silently hoping it wouldn't make her upset to talk about him more. Jared, she grins and her face lights up a little from the memory of him. Aw, I'm so sorry. I just don't get how I'm not a wolf. I look down at my hands. Me either, but when Jared died I abandoned the pack and went off on my own. Not a rouge, I still came back once in a while. The pack understood my actions. Once I told your uncle about me being a werewolf, he became frightened of me and he became really angry. I had to get away and join my pack again. So I'm here, she grins slightly, trying to brighten the mood. You don't know, do you? I ask quietly, remembering I have to tell her my uncle died. Know what? She asks with concern written on her face, seeing my mood change. Uncle Richard is dead. I look off into the window, not wanting to see her reaction. I didn't want to tell her another person she loved died of murder, but I had to. She had to know the truth. Figures, she rolled her eyes like it was nothing new. Did you know? What's with that reaction? I looked away from the window and at her face trying to read it. But it had no expression. He was insane, Emily, don't think I didn't know that. I thought he had moved past his ways and became a better person, but the night I told him about me, he lost it. I couldn't deal with him anymore, so I left. Anger bubbled inside of me and I couldn't help raising my voice at her. You knew he was insane and left him, but you didn't take me with you? Do you know how much pain he caused me? I yelled. She could have warned me. She left me there for myself, to defend myself, not knowing what was going on. I was stuck in that house afraid of my own uncle because of her. Even though it wasn't her fault, it was most definitely her fault that everything happened the way they did. I know, and I'm sorry, sweetie, I shouldn't have dash. I cut her off. No. You don't get to say you're sorry. If you really cared, you would have taken me with you the second you knew he was a threat. I yelled with fury dripping from my voice. But all that anger disappeared suddenly and I felt betrayed. I started sobbing right after I said that and stood up quickly, making me dizzy. Liam came rushing in the room and caught me right as I was about to fall. Hey baby. It's okay, breathe baby please. He wrapped his arms around me and I wrapped my arms around his neck in need of him. I cried into his chest and quietly apologizing that I had ruined his shirt. My aunt left the room while he was trying to comfort me, and that made me even more upset. She didn't care I was crying. As she knew about my uncle being insane and left me with him. I sobbed into his chest trying to pull him impossibly closer. I know, I heard the entire conversation, but I wanted to give you your privacy. As soon as I heard everything I came upstairs wanting to rip her apart. Everything changed when I saw you in here. You needed me, and I needed to comfort my partner. He started rubbing my back soothingly and kissed my cheek. I'm sorry I ruined today. I choked out, trying to wipe my tears, but he beat me to it. His hand glided over my face, leaving me feeling tingles. I grinned and leaned into his touch. I love how he affects me. No princess, it wasn't your fault. It was hers, and trust me, she won't get away with this. He lightly growled, mentioning my aunt. I leaned my forehead on his, looking him into his beautiful eyes. Hey Liam. I whispered. Yes baby. His breath fanned my face and our eyes connected. I love you, the words came out of my mouth as I thought it in my head. I spoke from my heart. I know I love him. It's time to tell him. I've loved you since I met you, baby girl. I shivered at his choice of nickname and slammed my lips onto his. He immediately responded as his lips moved against mine roughly. He licked the bottom of my lip for entrance and I obliged as I sat on his lap, moving impossibly closer to him. His arms moved to my back and I felt a million sparks move throughout my body as we kissed. Butterflies in my stomach fluttered everywhere and I ended the kiss to breathe. I was panting a little and he looked almost out of breath too. Now that was dash. A shout from the family room caught our attention. I looked at Liam confused and he took my hand as we moved downstairs. Emily? I know you're here. Yells a voice I haven't heard in a long time. No, it can't be. I whisper, but Liam hears me. Now it's his turn to be confused. I let go of his hand and run to where the voice was, the family room. My mouth hung open as my eyes saw who called my name. Sophie? Were my eyes playing tricks on me? Chapter 17. Sophie? Were my eyes playing tricks on me? She runs at me and flings herself onto me, making me almost fall with her. Emily. I knew the rumors had to be true, she says while her arms wrapped tightly around me. Rumors? What rumors? I look at her with questioning eyes as she untangles herself from me. There were rumors that Alpha Knight found his partner, and the description sounded familiar. She laughed and looked me up and down. You didn't change a bit, but your chest looks bigger. She wiggled her eyebrows at me and smirked. I gasped and hit her arm, embarrassed. Liam comes into the room finally and starts looking at me with confusion laced in his eyes. Who are you? He looks at Sophie. Oh, calm down, Mr. Alpha. This is Sophie. She was my best friend until I moved here. Sophie, this is Dash. Before I had a chance to introduce her to Liam, she cut me off. Your partner, I suppose. She smirks at the both of us and says something that makes me gasp and hit her arm again. Y'all mated yet? No, says Liam with an embarrassed expression. I laugh. Aw, the big intimidating alpha is blushing. Whatever, he mumbles and walks away into the kitchen. Aw, you scared him off, nice job. I high-fived her and our laughter could probably be heard throughout the house. Everyone had left since the gathering was over and now it's just me, Liam, Sophie, and Maddie in the house, wherever Madison is. It's my specialty. She gave me a big grin and laughed again. So you're a werewolf too, huh? Why didn't you tell me? Sadness laced my voice. I was a bit hurt she didn't tell me, since we were really close. I would have kept her secret. Aw man, I wish I was a werewolf, they seem cool. I couldn't, it's a law. No werewolf can tell anyone that's not a werewolf their identity. Except, if they're your partner, which is rare. Oh, I didn't know having a human partner was rare. I didn't hear his footsteps, so when Liam came up behind me he made me jump in surprise. Sure as baby, he kissed me on the cheek and wrapped his arms around my waist from behind. Ah. I wish I had a partner. Sophie looks at us in awe, but you could tell she was sad that she hasn't met her partner yet. I'm sure you'll meet your partner soon, Sophie. Once you do, it'll be the best thing to ever happen to you. Liam says. I look up and he's already looking in my eyes with a grin. I blush at his comment and grin back. I'm just glad my best friend is happy. She grins genuinely. What pack are you from? Liam asks. The lightning pack, she said in a proud voice. The pack must have some power. Oh, your alpha is Alpha Black. He's one of my close allies, and one of my close friends, he grins proudly. Good for you, anyway, Emily, we have a lot to discuss. Sophie rushes out with a huge grin across her face. Okay. We jump up and down and I almost forgot Liam was still there until I looked back at him. He was grinning at me and his face read, wow. Don't judge me. I narrowed my eyes at him and me and Sophie headed to my room. I closed the door and we both sat on my bed. For the next hour we talked about everything. And by everything, I mean everything. From the day I left to this morning. We talked about my uncle and she was glad he wouldn't be hurting me anymore. We also talked about her partner. I assured her she would find one soon and not to think about it too much. It would happen when it's supposed to. 2 hours later I was showing her my drawings in my sketchbook. I'm down to the last page. I frowned while turning every page, finding every one of them full except for the last one. Sophie grinned at me. You gotta draw me something good then. She patted me on the back and sat down on my bed. I will, I just have to think of something. I sat the sketchbook down on the desk and sat down next to Sophie. You'll think of something. You always do. I guess. I got up from the bed and got the remote off of the desk and started flipping channels. There's this show called The Crossing that I watch every week, but I forgot what day it comes on. Suddenly Sophie looked me up and down and sniffs the air, making me look at her with questioning eyes. What are you doing? Hold on. I was leaning on the bed a certain way so she straightened me up so she could fully look at my neck. Why is she looking at my neck? He hasn't done it yet. She frowns and sits back down on the bed. Huh? Done what yet? I found the channel The Crossing was on and it doesn't come on until later. My eyes widened in realization. Sophie. He has not gave me hickeys. I laugh out. No, it's not that. He hasn't marked you yet. Marked me? What does that mean? Her mouth gaped open at my question and then put her head in her hands. Sophie? Am I supposed to know? Hold on a second. She gets up from the bed and motions me to stay as she walks out the door. From downstairs you can hear her yell, Liam. Where the hell are you? Is it something I said? She sounds angry. I get up from the bed despite her orders and go downstairs to where I thought I heard her footsteps. I walk in the kitchen just as I hear a slap connecting to a face. Sophie. I yell as she was the one who slapped Liam. Ow, why did you slap me? Liam asked with a hand up to his face. You haven't marked her yet. All the unmated wolves will think she's not taken. She puts her hand on her hips and looks at him with angry eyes. You don't want to mess with her once she's angry, it gets intense. Sorry, Liam. I didn't think she was ready for that yet. She found out just a few weeks ago that werewolves even exist, he huffed in annoyance. Okay, but if an unmated wolf tries something, don't come crying to me. She puts her hands up in surrender and drags me along with her to my bedroom. What the hell just happened? What does marking mean? I asked once again once we were sitting on the bed again. It's when a wolf sinks its teeth into its partner's neck right here. She points to where it would go on the neck and I nod, and it shows up in a pretty way. And since your partner's with an alpha, it'll be extra extraordinary. She claps her hands together as if imagining one on my neck. It also lets other wolves know you're partnered so they won't come after you. Would it hurt? I look at her worriedly. Maybe at first, but after a while it'll feel really good. She grins at me. Don't worry about it. Okay. I started worrying about it anyway. I'm a huge worrier. It's sorta my thing. Oh, your show's about to start. She grins at me, pointing to the TV. Oh yeah. Let's go pop some popcorn. We both nodded to each other and headed downstairs into the kitchen. We got the popcorn bags out and put a few into the microwave, hearing the popcorn kernels pop. A few times it made me jump. What? It's loud. I started eating out of the first bag we popped and Sophie saw and took it from me. Hey. I crossed my arms and tried getting my delicious bag back. No, you gotta wait just like I do. I huff and Sophie suddenly perks up. She looks around and asks, is anyone else here besides us and Liam? Yeah, I think his sister's here. Why? I looked at her concerned. I think someone's here. She sniffs the air and her eyes widened. What's that amazing smell? She grins and looks back around. Popcorn? I laugh and turn to get my bag. No. It's not the popcorn. She looks off into the distance and she walks away from me and out of the kitchen towards the mysterious smell. Sophie, this night might be the weirdest night ever, and the most confusing. I walk out of the kitchen to find her in the family room, looking out of the family room window. What are you, Dash? I try and grab her arm to turn her around and we both stop in our tracks at the voice. What's that smell? It smells like cookies and Dash. Madison turns the corner into the family room and looks dead at Sophie. Sophie turns around slowly and looks right at Madison. They both look like they're staring straight into each other's souls. They both walk towards each other and move their hands to touch each other's. Once they do, they must have felt the shocks because what they said next left my mouth hanging open. Partner. Chapter 18. Once they do, they must have felt the shocks because what they said next left my mouth hanging open. Partner. They both widen their eyes in realization and they both just stare at each other for a long moment before I break the silence. No way. I whisper, but they hear me as Sophie looks over at me. This is so perfect. I mean, my two werewolf best friends get to be partners, and plus Sophie, you get to be my sister-in-law. Isn't this amazing? I start fangirling over everything. Sorry, I'm just really excited that they'll both be happy now. I only don't agree with one thing, Sophie says, making me look at her with confusion. I am your only best friend. She can be your friend, but no way in hell I'm sharing. She gives a wink to me and then looks back at Maddie. And no way in hell are you gonna wink at anyone other than me. Madison puts her hands on her hips and looks at Sophie in a fake angry face. But of course, Sophie being Sophie. I'm sorry. She says, hugging onto Madison, making her smirk. I roll my eyes at the two. Well, this'll be fun to watch. I laugh and Madison follows suit. Sophie just rolls her eyes at us playfully and then sadly looks at Madison. I'm sorry, babe, but I can't hang out right now. I promised to watch a show with Emily, but it'll only take an hour. Then we can talk all night and get to know each other, okay? She looks at Madison hopefully. Madison nods her head in understanding, but no way I was gonna let this happen. No way, you've been waiting so long to meet your partner. Go hang out with her, I can watch my show with Liam. I grin at the two and then I realize something. Liam doesn't know his sister found her partner. My eyes probably looked like they were about to pop out and I did what I thought would bring Liam's behind in the room. I screamed, making Sophie jump and Madison look over at me, covering her ears. Wow, a girl can yell. Maddie laughs at me and then I say, just wait. I count to 2 and then I hear a growl coming from upstairs. Liam comes running down here in full speed, and once he sees me his features relax and he hugs onto me. Are you hurt? Are you okay? What's wrong, princess? He examines me up and down, and when he realizes I was okay he sighed. What's wrong is you missed a milestone in your sister's life. I pointed over to the new pair of partners and he looks behind him. His eyes widened and turned back around at me, pointing to the both of them as if saying, them too? Partners? Yes, them too. Who else is in the room? My arms cross and his eyes go back to the 2 partners. He starts walking up to Sophie and ends up towering over her threateningly. If you ever hurt my sister, you're gonna regret ever coming to this pack, understand? Yeah, my best friend wouldn't ever hurt Madison. Calm down, Mr. Alpha. I walk over to him and place my hand onto his shoulder. He visibly relaxed and Sophie responded, I wouldn't ever hurt my partner. She looks into Liam's eyes, meaning she's promising it. Aw, my little heart can't take all the love. I clasp my hands over my heart, making them all laugh. About the show, are you sure? Madison adds, looking away from Sophie. Yes, go with your partner and be all lovey-dovey. I roll my eyes and laugh. Besides, she has me, you know. Liam runs his hand through his hair and tries to look cool. I guess it's a partner's night. I grab his wrist and head upstairs with him, leaving the lovebirds alone. Once we got in our room I crashed on the bed, and before Liam had a chance to sit beside me I thought of an idea, making me sit back up again. What is it? He looks at me with concern as he sits on the fluffy material on the bed. I have a new drawing idea. I grin to myself and lay back down on the bed. Well, are you gonna tell me? Please, E. He lays down beside me, giving me the pouty face. No, not the pouty face, you know I can't resist that. His face lights up at my comment and gets ready for my answer, but I want this to be a surprise. His grin fades and he frowns. Come on, please. Nope. You'll have to wait like everyone else. I grin triumphantly. Fine, he grumbles as the crossing flickered on the screen. I gasp, almost forgetting about my favorite new show. The popcorn. I'll go get it. I get up from the bed and leave the room to the delicious popcorn. I walk into the family room and there's no trace of the couple anywhere. I shrug and walk into the kitchen and head to the microwave to my popcorn bags. I pick them up and start walking to the bedroom again. I've always dreamed of today in a way. Me having a guy to cuddle with and watch TV, and my best friend finding the person she'll love forever. This day will forever be engraved in my heart, for many reasons. As soon as I got back into the family room my mouth hangs open at the sight, 2 girls making out on the sofa. I see the girls to be Sophie and Madison, so I yell, "No, guys, get a room," trying to attempt covering my eyes with the popcorn bags. Sophie looks up from Madison's lap and said, "We did, but then you came in." Yeah, that's fair enough. I'll leave you 2 alone, just please don't do the nasty on the sofa. I scrunch my face in disgust as I head upstairs. Once I hit the top stair I hear a, "We won't," from Maddie, who from the looks of it is blushing really hard at my comment. I'd say use protection, but that's not needed. I run into the bedroom, leaving them both stunned downstairs. I brought popcorn. I waved the bags in Liam's face and sat down next to him. Yay, crunchy goodness. He takes the other bag and opens it, shoving a bunch of popcorn in his mouth. Oh yeah, one intimidating alpha right there. I look at him with a grin and open my bag as well. He just frowns with a mouth full of popcorn begging to pop out of it. I am though, he continues to frown until I look at the screen and start to watch my show. About halfway we ended up finishing the popcorn and I ended up on his lap laying against his chest, straddling him. Let me tell ya, it's the most comfortable position I've ever been in. 30 minutes later the show's over and I look up at his face, revealing a closed-eyed Liam. Tired from today, are we? I whisper and kiss his cheek. He opens his eyes and unhooks his hands around my waist to rub his eyes, and then puts them back on my waist again. Kinda, but I'm awake now, He kissed my forehead and I sigh in content as I lean my head back down on his chest. I hear something and it's hard to make out, but then once I do I look up at Liam in amusement. Did you just purr? I stifled a laugh. No, I certainly did not. He tried to put on a serious face and it was priceless. Oh. Who's a good boy? I pat his head, earning a slight growl from him. Watch it, he says, leaning to kiss me. I lean in, moving my arms so that my hands cup his face, and we kiss. The sparks are back no matter how many times we kiss or touch each other, and I grin into the kiss, making Liam purr again. Things started heating up as the kiss kept going and I happily let it happen. I move my hands in his hair, lightly tugging it, and he growls lowly. He moves his hands lower and lower down my back until they grab my behind and moves me off his lap, and we stop for a moment so we can sit up. I'm still on his lap, but now we are just in a sitting position. We mold our lips back together and he playfully bites down on my bottom lip, asking for entrance, and I obliged, exploring his mouth as well. I moan out as his lips are now moving down my neck, probably going to leave a mark. He kissed this one place on my neck that made me go weak, and he looks up at me. Can I mark you? If it's okay, if it's not, I underdash. You can. I grin, interrupting him, and place a small kiss on his lips that leaves a grin on his. Are you sure? He asks carefully. Yes. Mark me. I look him in his blue eyes and he grins and continues his attack on my neck. I moan again as he hits that spot again, and I feel canines grazing my skin. I gasp as they sink into my neck, leaving me speechless. I hold on to Liam as it really hurt, but then after a minute he was done and licked the wound, making me shiver in pleasure. You'll be exhausted, but that's expected. He pressed his lips to the crown of my head as my eyelids grew heavy. I grinned at him and circled my arms around his middle as he gently positioned us horizontally. I drifted off to sleep with his voice echoing in my thoughts. I adore you, Emily Carter. Chapter 19. That evening was permanently etched in my memory as one of the most joyful experiences ever. A smile remained fixed on my face when I awakened, replaying every moment in my mind. When I stirred, I anticipated finding myself in my bed, cradled in my partner's embrace. But naturally, that wasn't the situation. I reached for Liam's portion of the mattress with my eyes still shut, searching for his warmth, but discovered nothing. Just a chilled section of the bed. I exhaled deeply. He's likely handling alpha responsibilities. I stretched and rubbed my eyes, attempting to fully wake myself. I positioned myself upright and extended my arms until I heard my spine crack. Yes, I must do that or I cannot begin my day. I glanced at the timepiece resting on the bedside table next to the bed, and it displayed 9 o'clock. Not excessively late, not overly early, ideal. I rose from the bed and entered the washroom and shut the door, but then exited, wondering what I was doing. Typically I gather my clothing and put it on before doing anything else. It just seems logical to me. I walked into the walk-in wardrobe and selected my attire for the day. I decided to be somewhat fashionable today, so I wore a black and gray striped top with some black shorts with a black belt. To complete the appearance, I wore a light blue denim jacket. I rolled up the sleeves to my elbows and I approached my full-length mirror and smiled at myself. I felt confident with my appearance, but I sensed it required something additional. I went to where I store my accessories, mostly purchased by Maddie, and examined all the necklaces. I informed her I rarely wear rings or bracelets because I constantly misplace them, but they're attractive too. I moved my hands across the various necklaces until I decided and returned to the mirror. I fastened the necklace around my neck and examined my appearance one final time. I chose to select a crystal necklace, that was quartz, with a black chain. I nodded my head in satisfaction and checked the time, 9:20. I grabbed my drawing pad, pencils, and pens and headed toward Liam's office. He doesn't have a meeting today, so he's likely just handling paperwork. I walk down the corridor and notice Noah. He stops walking and turns around, and when he sees me his face brightens. Hey Emily. Even though I've been here for a while, I still don't really know where Liam's office is located. Can you show me? I giggle, slightly embarrassed. You would assume I would know my way around the house by now, but no. I need to give myself a house tour later. I wonder if this place has a library. He smiled, noticing my confusion. Yeah, it's down the hall. He guides the way down the seemingly endless corridor and my stomach rumbles. But it's not me I think about. Do you know if he's eaten breakfast yet? No, he's been in the office since 7. He frowned and turned back around to lead the way again. He likely wanted to spend time with his friend today. We can spend time together today if you want. I grin at him and place my hand on the handle of the door. Really? He looks up at me with a hopeful expression. He probably had nothing else to do today like me. Besides, I need to have some Noah time. Yeah, it'll be enjoyable. We can hang out after lunch, or we can do something for lunch too. Sounds good, he waves and walks off. I look at my hand on the handle and think about whether I should just walk in or knock first. I mean, it's polite to knock first before you enter a room, especially when someone's busy, but on the other hand... Emily? Liam called for me behind the door. How did he know it was me? I found it better to just walk inside, so I did, and there he was at his desk, looking at me with the most adorable expression on his face. Hey Liam. I go up to the front of his desk and lean on it to look at all the scattered papers on his desk, and a map. My eyes wandered all over the map. It was of his territory. I just wanted to see if you wanted breakfast, if you haven't eaten yet. I looked up at him and he is just staring at me in awe, not paying attention to a word I said. Liam? I smile at him, trying to get his attention by waving a hand in front of his face. He shakes his head and smiles at me. You're Mark. He opens and closes his mouth like he was trying to find words but couldn't think of anything. Yeah, the memory of last night flooded my mind and my face was probably pink now. My hand unconsciously goes to my neck where my mark is. It's beautiful. You're absolutely gorgeous too. He stands up from his desk and comes over to tower in front of me. I lean in to kiss him, but the kiss is brief when he stops to ask, do you know what it looks like? I shake my head. What does he mean? He pulls out a small mirror from his desk and hands it to me. I take it and place it to where I know my mark is. Once I see it, I know why he was staring at it. It's not just a mark, it's an image. It's an image of a crescent. I love it. I look at him in awe, and he had the same expression on his face. He wrapped his arms around me and whispered in my ear, I'd really like some breakfast, princess. I giggled, right away, sir. I bowed and Liam just frowned at me. I walked out of the room laughing at his expression and went into the kitchen to prepare some pancakes. While I prepared the pancakes, I thought about how I never hear from my friends back at school. Do they not want to check on me? I haven't heard from them since I left school. I guess they don't care. The thought made me sad, but the new pair of mates came into the kitchen and made me happy again. What are you making? Madison says while looking over my shoulder. It's obviously pancakes. I can smell them from our room. Sophie says and inhales the air. That was quick. I turn around and lean on the stove so I can see the two. Yeah, Sophie chose to live here with us instead of me leaving. Besides, you and Liam need me. She flips her hair dramatically and I laugh at her. Anyway, want to go shopping today? Sophie asks while searching in the pantry, probably looking for her favorite snack, Pringles. I don't judge, I love them too. You'd be surprised, I like the original ones the best. She likes the cheddar cheese most. I told her she'd find Pringles in the pantry and she was excited. I'll ask Liam, though I'm sure he'll say no. I looked down and turned around, putting the two pancakes on a plate. I went to walk to the pantry to get syrup and Madison stepped in front of me. I huffed, it's not my fault someone's after me. I crossed my arms. I know, maybe we could bring a guard to the mall with us and that'll make him feel better about us going, she said with a hopeful look on her face. Please, Jess. Sophie stands beside Madison taking her side and I huff again. I don't know if I should, I'm kind of scared to. Going out while someone's after me is a huge risk, but on the other hand he hasn't threatened me in a while. Plus I could tell Liam a guard would come with us. Or wait, I have a better idea. Noah. I yelled loudly, hoping Noah would hear me from downstairs. Sophie and Madison plugged their ears and hissed at me. Why are you yelling for Noah? Madison asks. Once they're sure I wouldn't yell again, they uncovered their ears slowly. Noah can be our guard, Liam trusts him and he's the beta. I shrug. I hope this will work. What? Noah walks into the room. He eyes the pancakes and licks his lips. His arms reach out to the pancakes and I stop him in his tracks. Don't you think about it? I raise my eyebrows and he pouts. Well, what did you call me for then? I was wondering if you could be me and the girl's guard. We want to go to the mall. I cross my arms hoping his answer will be yes. Not a chance, he mimics me and crosses his arms too. It's my turn to pout now, why not? Don't you have anything better to do? Madison raises her eyebrow as Sophie comes up behind her and wraps her arms around her waist. Yes, he says, emotion nowhere on his face. And what is that? I reply. Sleeping. It's good for the soul. He nods his head and puts his hand on his heart. How about a deal? I get an idea that I know he wouldn't refuse, I hope. Food. I definitely won't get on Liam's bad side no matter what dash. I'll make you a pancake. I say, smiling, knowing his answer once his face lights up. Yes, he says, jumping up and down, excited for a pancake. He then frowns. Oh no. Liam's gonna kill me. He puts his hand on his head, rethinking his life choices. Too late. I smile sweetly and get the syrup from the pantry and make another pancake for Liam. No. What, why? I just told my plan to Liam for the mall today and he completely shut it down without reason. Because if anything ever happened at the mall and I wasn't there to protect you, I wouldn't forgive myself, he says while eating the pancake I made him. Noah's coming with us though, he can protect us. I whined, hoping that would change his mind. But unlikely, he's overprotective. No, he kept staring down at his paperwork, pretending I wasn't right in front of him. Please. No. Please see. No. Please see. He finally looked up from his desk to stare me in the eyes. No amount of times you say please is going to change my mind. Whatever. I go back into the kitchen to see the girls sitting at the table chatting away about what to get at the mall, and I chose this as the time to break the news. Hey guys. I said with a frown on my face, walking up to the table. Oh no. He said no. Sophie said with a frown forming on her face. Yeah. I said, trailing off as I sat down next to Sophie. But I'm still going. I said with a smirk. Both the girls had shock written all over their faces. What? Maddie said. He's gonna kill you. Madison said and slapped her hand on her face in disappointment. She knew her brother. I knew there was fire in you. Honestly, I'm not that surprised. Sophie shrugged and crossed her arms with a smirk. Everything's gonna be alright. He's making a big deal out of a girl's day, well, with one guy. I said. I talked to the girls a little longer about our trip to the mall and went upstairs to get my purse that Madison also got me. I packed it a little with essentials and slung it across my shoulder. Today will be a good day. Chapter 20. We all headed into the Jeep and buckled our seatbelts. Me and Noah are up front because the couple wanted to sit together in the back. Not that I'm complaining, Noah's awesome. What do you want to listen to? He asks me while driving off of the territory. The girls in the back started whining and complaining about how they couldn't pick the music, but Noah swooped in. The people in the front get to pick the music and I chose for the Luna to get the power over the music. So what do you want to listen to? I haven't really thought about what I wanted to listen to on the way. It's not really something I think about. I look around for a cord to plug into my phone and Noah looks at me questioningly. What are you looking for? We pull up at a red stoplight, so he leans back in his seat just watching me search. The cord for the car. Oh, the AUX cord, I have it in here. He pulls up this top thing in the middle and reaches in it and pulls out the cord. Thanks. I said, taking it from him and plugging it into my phone and then the Jeep. The red light's green now, so his attention goes back to the road. I go to Apple Music and I scroll down my hundreds of songs and I smile at a song I just recently started getting into. I tap on the song and the girls in the back were confused because the music was down so low. I turned it up a lot so the music was blasting in the car, but I don't care. You could probably hear the music clearly outside of the car. Sophie likes this song too, so her face lights up and starts singing along with me while Noah keeps a straight face and Maddie just laughs at Sophie dancing along. Do you not know the song? I yell to Maddie and she replies, yeah, but it's not one of my favorites. I nod and dance along as well. I smack Noah's arm and his face turns into a frown. What? Come on, party pooper. I yell at him through the music, and once it gets to my favorite part, one sing out. So call out my name when I kiss you so gently. I want you to stay, I want you to stay. Even though you don't want me, girl, why can't you wait? Girl, why can't you wait till I fall out of love? Won't you call out my name? Girl, call out my name, and I'll be on my way, and I'll be on my. I said I didn't feel nothing, baby. But I lied, I almost cut a piece of myself for your life. Guess I was just another pit stop, till you made up your mind. You just wasted my time. The Weeknd and Selena Gomez broke up a little while back. I was a little disappointed because they were so cute together, but I don't know. Sources said they broke up over touring and not being able to see each other. But singers have to deal with that all the time. I don't get why so long into their relationship, they ended over a little thing like that. Anyway, I still love the song Call Out My Name because he just sounds so good in the song. Definitely one of my favorites. What's this song called? Noah asked and my mouth dropped open. You didn't just. I really have never heard it till now, but it's good. At least you gave me that. It's Call Out My Name by The Weeknd. Once the song is done, I make a little playlist and just play Panic at the Disco the entire time. Once we got to the mall, we got out of the car and Maddie said, I can't believe this is happening. What's happening? You're acting like you've never been to a mall before. Sophie said, linking hands with Maddie. I have, just not with the three of us, pointing to me, Sophie, and herself. Hey. Don't forget me now. Noah says, pointing to Madison. I snicker a laugh as Maddie looks around pretending not to see him. Don't forget who? Me, obviously. He throws his hands up in surrender and we walk into the mall. I look around and start overthinking. There are a lot of people here. What if I have a panic attack? I don't want to in front of everyone. I breathe in and out. You're only scaring yourself thinking that. You're with your friends at the mall. Have a good time and don't think so much. What store first? Sophie says, looking at the sign in front of us. We stopped at an electronic map that stands in the middle of the mall showing where all of the stores are at. I say, the food court. Noah says, and we all look at him confused. What? I'm hungry. That's my forever mood. Sophie says, laughing, and we all join her. Yeah, let's go. I haven't had lunch yet and I'm pretty sure none of us had it either. Okay, just so you know, it's 12:30 and we need to be back at the pack house as soon as possible so Liam never knows we were out. Madison says worriedly, probably scared of what her brother would do if he found out she was a part of me sneaking out to the mall. Stop worrying and have fun, besides we gotta stay a little while at least. Sophie nudges Maddie and Maddie smiles slightly. We go up to the escalator and go up to the food court. Once we get there, we took 10 minutes just to agree on a table to eat at. Then we all went to the places we wanted to order from. There is a Subway, McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, Chinese place, and Pizza Hut. There's another place in the food court called The Shack. You can get snacks, slushies, and drinks there, and it's walk-in so you can walk in and choose stuff you want, and there's a huge variety of stuff too. Madison and Noah went to Subway while me and Sophie went to McDonald's. I would have went to Pizza Hut, but Sophie didn't want to stand in line alone, so I went to McDonald's with her. I ordered the 10-piece nuggets meal with fries and a sweet tea, and Sophie got the same. What? We like the same type of everything. It's why we are best friends. I always get the same thing every time I go to food places. I'm never the girl to try different things, even though I complain that I'm tired of everything. Me and Sophie arrive at the table first and sat down at the opposite side of the table so she could sit next to Madison. Hey Emily. Sophie said, looking up at me with a sad look on her face. Yeah? I was looking at my fries and dipping one into my ketchup, so I didn't see her face until I took a bite into my precious fry. What's wrong? I think I'm already in love with Madison, she says slowly and looks down at her nuggets. Why is that a bad thing? I tilt my head at her and she looks back up at me, because I feel like it's too early to say that. I mean, it's been only a day. I know with werewolves, we fall in love very quickly, but I didn't expect this. She looks shocked but then stuffs her face with chicken nuggets. It's nothing to be embarrassed about, but you know I'm not a werewolf. I can't really give advice about this. I'm sorry, Kay. I say to Sophie while unwrapping her straw and putting it in her drink. Thanks, and thanks for trying. I know you're not a werewolf, but it's hard not coming to you about this stuff. I talk to you about everything. She laughs a little but then notices Maddie and Noah coming and says quickly, don't tell her please. I won't. I put my hand on her shoulder and then start eating my fries again. A few seconds later they come to the table talking about who can eat their sandwich the fastest. Obviously I can. Maddie says, sitting down next to Sophie. Noah sits next to me and says, watch me finish first. He narrows his eyes at her, making Sophie growl lowly. Overprotective much? You're on. They start eating their sandwiches and every now and then take glances at each other to see how far the other has gotten. This is stupid. I watch them gobble their sandwiches and cross my arms across my chest. After a minute or two Madison finishes and Noah trails behind her a bite or two. Ha. I told you. I win. She raises her hands up in victory and wipes her face with a napkin. Aw man. You cheated. Noah says with a bunch of his sandwich in his mouth still. I cringe and look away from him to Sophie. Who even started this challenge? Sophie looks at Noah, amused. They both point to each other and childishly yelled, she did, making people from 2 tables down look at us weirdly. Shush guys, you are too loud. I laugh and go with them to throw our trash away. Not my fault she cheated. Noah said proudly, which made Madison glare at him. Sophie smiles, that's my girl. Madison blushes and they kiss, which makes me awe at them, but I guess I was one of the few thinking that way. 2 people walking past us looked at them weirdly and I glared at them. Anything you want to say? Noah's eyes go wide, silently praying for me to stop talking, but Sophie and Madison stop kissing and look at me questionably, but then see the 2 and put 2 and 2 together. I just don't think it's right, the lady said while the other didn't say anything. Oh, suck my dick. Sophie said, taking Madison's hand and walking away, making me die of laughter. Me and Noah trail behind them, leaving the 2 ladies speechless. This is why she's my best friend. An hour after the whole rudeness of the 2 ladies, me and the girls went shopping along with Noah. You'd think Noah would be third-wheeling us girls, but no, he was helping us by telling us his opinion on clothes and other necessities. So far I haven't gotten much. Just a pair of boots and another rose necklace I really liked. We also went into Victoria's Secret and got some lingerie, not my idea though. None of us saw each other in anything because the couple wanted it to be a surprise for later, and then I'm just not comfortable with my body. The only one who's seen me naked is Sophie, and that was only because we are just so comfortable with each other. We could change in front of each other. She says I have nothing to be ashamed of because I have a great body, but I still am. Anxiety is great. I bought about 3 pairs of lingerie and I don't know about the girls. Noah didn't come in the store saying the store was gross. He just said he was going to wait outside and to mind link him if anything went wrong. I can't mind link, but I understood he wasn't talking to me. Now we are roaming the mall looking for another store to go in. I gotta say, being without your mate has its downfalls. I have him in my mind 24/7 and being without him sucks. I just want to hug him forever. OMG Emily. It's hot topic. Sophie yells and pulls me towards the store, making me snap back to reality. OMG, come on, come on. Me and her ran into the store with a stunned Maddie behind us. Wait up, she yelled while we were already in the store. We looked around at all of the posters on the walls while I could hear the song, Beach Boy, by Captivity playing throughout the store. I start singing along and go to the hats to try some on. I pick a hat up that is light pink with a white peace sign on the front and immediately thought of Sophie. Sophie, get over here. I yell and continue looking at the hats. She doesn't immediately come over, so I pick up a hat I found and went to a mirror nearby. I examine myself and then just think, eh. I go back to the rack of hats and gasp when I find one I like. It's a 21 Pilots hat that's mostly black but then red in places. It has its logo on the front and on the side a TP skull with a line through it. I look at the price and cringe. $20 plus for a hat just seems crazy. I shrug as Sophie walks over to me and looks at the two hats in my hand. I didn't think you were into hats. I'm not, but I'm into TP. I show her the hat and she smiles and nods. She looks at the other hat and her mouth flies open. I love this hat. She takes the hat and goes over to the mirror, with me following behind, and we both pose in the mirror in our new hats. Madison comes over and laughs at our weirdness. You guys are embarrassing me. Whatever. Sophie turns around and crosses her arms. Noah walks into the store with a panicked expression on his face until he sees us and he relaxes a little. What the heck, guys? He walks over to us and runs his hands through his hair. What? You were too slow. Sophie laughs at his state and takes off her hat. You guys ran away so fast. I went to go throw away my cup and y'all were gone. He frowns. Nice hats, by the way. I would have gotten this one though. He goes over to the rack and then chooses a hat and comes back over to us. He holds out the hat so we all can see and it read on the front, "Screw everyone." Same. Maddie says and laughs while Sophie beside her growls. You better not be screwing anyone but me. Sophie raises her eyebrow, but this doesn't affect Madison as she gets a mischievous glint in her eye. Who says I haven't? She struts away with a smirk, and if we didn't have to pay for the hats, Sophie would have been fuming after her. We should head home. Noah says looking at his watch. It's 3:30 and I kind of agree. I miss Liam and we have to get back soon before he realizes we were ever gone. Well, that I was gone. The others are free to leave whenever they want. Lucky ducks. Yeah, let me use the bathroom though, says Madison. Anyone know where it is? I sigh and Sophie looks around to find a sign, but no luck. This mall needs better signs and stuff to know where we are going. Come on, I'll help you find a sign. Emily will be back. Sophie takes Maddie by her hand and walks towards a store. Okay. I say and turn to Noah, but he wasn't there. I could have sworn he was right there. I walk not far to a massage chair and sit down in the nice, comfortable chair. I sit back and relax for a few minutes and look around to see if I could see Noah or the girls, but still nothing. I guess bathrooms are not close by. I just wonder where Noah is. When they come back, he better be here because I don't want to leave without him. I sit back again and feel someone sitting next to me. I think they're alone because I don't hear anyone talking to them. Must be alone too. I feel ya, pal. I was left to fend for myself. I open my eyes and as soon as I do, the person next to me leans to me and whispers in my ear, if you want your friends to live, I suggest you come with me. Come on guys, where are you? Liam's POV surprise. For a few hours I've locked myself in my office trying to figure out who this mystery person who is trying to hurt my mate is. I've kept every single note trying to get a scent, a fingerprint, anything to help me. I always find nothing. It's stressful knowing there's nothing I can do at the moment. I run my hands through my hair and lean against my chair. I need Noah to help me with all this for a while. My brain's gonna explode. Noah. I say through the mind link. Yes? He replies almost instantly. Where are you? I need help with the case. I'm in the bathroom. Dude, just come to my office when you're done. Okay, he says and closes his mind link. That's odd, he never closes it. I shuffle through a few papers and doodle on the sides. I don't draw like Emily because there's a major difference. She actually knows how to draw. Me on the other hand, I draw stick figures. I smile to myself and daydream about my mate. God, it's only been a few hours and I miss her a lot. I'll go check on her. I haven't heard anything from her for a couple hours. I didn't want to let her go to the mall without knowing who this guy is that I'm looking for. Keeping her here with me and people who can protect her is where she's safe. Millions of people are at the mall, who knows what'll happen there. I get up out of my chair and close the office door behind me. I walk to our room and notice it's closed. She might be taking a shower. I smell the air and I don't smell anything. I don't even smell her scent. Emily. I open the door and look around the room, no sign of my mate. Jess. I look into the bathroom and the lights off with no sign of her still. I run out of the room into the hall. Emily, where are you? I yell. I run all around the house and check in every bedroom just in case she was hanging out with Madison, but there's no sign of her either. Madison. I growl through the mind link but no reply. Noah, where are you and where is my mate? I growl through his mind link but no reply either. I realize no one's here in the house and my blood boils. They knew she wasn't allowed to leave the house, and why she wasn't either. They need to keep her safe even when I can't. I run my hands through my hair and punch the wall so hard it makes a hole. Why aren't they answering me? The door opens and I hear 3 pairs of footsteps enter the doorway. I take my hand out of the hole and turn towards the 3 of them. A frightened Noah, Sophie, and Madison stand in shock at the hole in the wall and about something else, probably about my mate. Where is my mate? My wolf comes to the surface and Noah gulps. Sophie stands there fidgeting with her fingers, and my sister just stands there staring at me. Someone answer my question. She's missing. Noah finally speaks up and my eyes widened. My mate's missing. What do you mean she's missing? I fume and he looks down, ashamed. We left her for a few minutes and when we came back we couldn't find her anywhere. Someone took her. That's all it took. I stormed out of the living room and went outside and shifted midair. I ran, anywhere. I ran till my legs felt tired and I couldn't run anymore. My mate is missing, and it's my fault. Chapter 21. Liam's POV. It's been a week. She's all I can think about. I haven't been able to sleep or do anything else since I found out someone took Emily. I haven't even left my office except to go to the bathroom, in my office. I've tried searching in and out of my territory, even my guards and warriors, but it's no use. We don't have anything to lead our case. We have no scent, no idea who this person is, or why he wants her. Why does this person want my mate? All I know is when I find her, I'm gonna kill whoever took her. No one messes with me. If you mess with my mate, you're dead. Emily's POV. All I see is darkness. I try to break free from the chains I'm in, but it's no use. I've tried for about who knows how long. I don't know how much time has passed since I was taken, a few days? I'm still sitting in the same spot without any hint of who took me or what I'm doing here. The person who took me hasn't shown herself since she took me, just other people who give me food. Only then am I allowed to take the bag off, but the lights are off. The food isn't that great, probably scraps. I get fed very little too. Whoever took me doesn't want me to die of starvation, but wants me to starve at the same time. My stomach growls and I sigh, feeling tired. I miss eating Pringles whenever I want to an actual food. Most of all I miss Liam. I wonder how he's doing. I wasn't even supposed to be out of the house in the first place. If I had just listened to him, I wouldn't be in this situation. I know I didn't know that this would happen, but it's still my fault. Maybe he doesn't want me anymore. He's probably furious I left the house without permission and thinks he's better off without me. I ran my hand over my mark thinking of everything we have been through. He's really been a huge part of my life these past couple of months. I've been thinking about a lot lately. I want to mate with him, I think I'm ready, but is he? He gives me hints but I'm not sure unless I ask. I'm that clueless person in the relationship. A tear slips down my face as I think more and more about him. He's coming for me, right? I'm hoping, because otherwise, I have no strength against werewolves. Yeah, these people are werewolves too. I was tied up on a wolf on the way over to this place. The one who took me is too. Just one question though, why does she want me? I have no powers or the ability to shift. Maybe she doesn't know? There's only one way to find out, ask. Hey stranger, the girl who took me says as she closes the wooden door behind her, and locks it with a key. I don't reply and fiddle with my fingers, which only angers her. She rips the bag off of my head and I look around the room to find her but see nothing. The room was dark. She laughs at my confusion and pulls a chain, turning on the light in the middle of the ceiling. Chapter 21. Liam's perspective. 7 days have passed. She occupies every corner of my thoughts. Sleep has evaded me, and I've been unable to accomplish anything since discovering that someone abducted Emily. I haven't departed from my office except for restroom visits, within my office. I've attempted searching within and beyond my territory boundaries, even deploying my guards and fighters, but nothing yields results. We possess no leads for our investigation. We lack any scent trail, no knowledge of this individual's identity, or understanding of his motivations for wanting her. What reason does this person have for targeting my mate? The only certainty is when I locate her, I will eliminate whoever captured her. Nobody interferes with me. If you harm my mate, you face death. Emily's perspective. Darkness surrounds me completely. I attempt to escape from these restraints binding me, but my efforts prove futile. I've struggled for an unknown duration. I cannot determine how much time has elapsed since my capture, several days perhaps. I remain seated in this identical position without any indication of my captor's identity or my purpose here. The individual who abducted me hasn't revealed herself since the kidnapping. Only different people who deliver food. Only during feeding times am I permitted to remove the bag covering my head, but the lights remain extinguished. The nourishment isn't particularly appetizing, likely leftover scraps. I receive very minimal portions too. Whoever captured me doesn't desire my death from starvation, yet wants me to experience hunger simultaneously. My stomach rumbles and I exhale, feeling exhausted. I long for eating Pringles whenever desired and genuine food. Above all, I miss Liam. I wonder about his current state. I wasn't supposed to leave the house initially. Had I simply obeyed him, I wouldn't face this predicament. I realize I couldn't have predicted this occurrence, but responsibility still lies with me. Perhaps he no longer wants me. He's probably enraged that I departed the house without authorization and believes he's better off without me. I ran my hand across my mark while contemplating everything we've experienced together. He's truly become a significant part of my existence these recent months. I've been contemplating many things lately. I desire to mate with him. I believe I'm prepared, but is he? He provides hints, but I remain uncertain unless I inquire directly. I'm that oblivious person in our relationship. A tear streams down my cheek as I think increasingly about him. He's coming to rescue me, correct? I'm hoping so, because otherwise, I possess no strength against werewolves. Yes, these people are werewolves as well. I was secured on a wolf during transportation to this location. My captor is also one. Just one question though, why does she want me? I possess no powers or shifting abilities. Perhaps she's unaware? There's only one method to discover this, ask. Hello stranger, the girl who captured me announces as she closes the wooden door behind her and secures it with a key. I don't respond and fidget with my fingers, which only infuriates her. She tears the bag from my head and I scan the room searching for her but see nothing. The room was dark. She laughs at my confusion and pulls a chain, illuminating the light in the ceiling center, revealing herself. I find myself gasping at her identity. I never imagined she'd be capable of something like this. She was always pleasant. Surprise, she laughs while examining my appearance. You didn't believe I was genuinely your friend, right? Why did you abduct me, Zara? I stated, addressing the matter directly. I simply want to return home. Well, I realized since meeting you that you weren't a werewolf, but I know you have an alpha mate. Most people at our school were werewolves. Plus I knew one of the most popular guys in school just happens to leave with a newcomer. That typically doesn't occur unless you're his mate, she paces around the room while explaining herself. So what exactly do you want? I roll my eyes. She dislikes it and walks over to me and strikes me hard. I try to place a hand on my face, but the chains prevent me. Revenge. Your mate killed my brother. As soon as those words left her mouth, I gasped. I could never imagine Liam doing something so severe as killing someone without justification. He must have had a reason. That's insane. I stare at the floor, attempting to piece everything together, but it simply doesn't make sense. He must have done something to deserve it. Yes. My brother did nothing wrong, just one day Liam attacked him and killed him. Zara grabbed me by my hair and came close to my face, and now, I'm going to ensure he pays for what he's done. I whimper in pain and a tear slips down my face. Zara just smiles and pulls harder on my hair, making me stiffen with pain. I scrunch my face, hoping that Liam's on his way to rescue me. She releases my hair and goes to the room's center, under the light. And you know how I'm going to accomplish that? I lean against the wall behind me, trying to steady my breathing, but I already know the answer. You. Liam, please hurry. Liam's perspective. I've been staring at the living room wall for several minutes now, just attempting to visualize her face so I won't lose my sanity. Noah is also sad that Emily is missing. I know he feels guilty because every hour he would enter my office asking if I needed anything or wanted anything. The only thing I want is her. He brought me downstairs for a change of environment since I've been in that office for 2 weeks. That's how long she's been missing now. I don't know anything about where she could be or what is happening to her. Please, nobody hurt her. I cannot protect her now, and I'm falling apart knowing that. Liam, the voice says as I'm pulled away from my thoughts. I jumped, but then relaxed, realizing the voice was just Noah sitting beside me. What? I say, surprising myself. I'm losing hope, and my voice just demonstrates that. We will find her. He puts a hand on my shoulder, trying to comfort me. He slumps back into the couch and puts his hands on his face. Well, that doesn't send a mixed message at all. Suddenly I get an alert from my guards. Alpha. Get to the border now. On my way. As soon as I mind link him back, I'm on my feet and rushing myself and Noah out the door. He's my beta, of course I'm bringing him. We remove our clothes and shift. I ran to the border as fast as possible, wondering what I would discover there. I need it to be my mate, please let it be my mate, unharmed. I arrived there in 3 minutes with Noah trailing behind me, and I shift and get my clothes back on. I see 3 of my guards at the border with a guy from my school panting like he's been running extensively. He smells like a rogue, so I become even angrier. He's not my mate, and he's trespassing on my territory. What are you doing here, Ethan? I cross my arms across my chest and stare at him with a cold, hard stare. It's Emily. I know what happened to her and possibly where she is. He pants out while my guards hold him in his place. With him mentioning my mate, I motion the guards to release him. They let him go and he falls to the ground with a huff. If this is a joke, you're dead. I growl and drag him and Noah back to the pack house. Chapter 22. Liam's perspective. Once we returned to the pack house, I brought him to my office and seated him down in the chair in front of my desk with Noah by my side. He wants Emily back as well, so he's not going to play any games. I'm certainly not going to either. First, how did you become a rogue? Noah asked, leaning against my desk. If he's joking, I will kill him. Chill, man, we don't even know anything yet. Not gonna happen, I growled through the mind link. Dude, I want her back too, but we have to hear him out. Whatever. I shut off the mind link and listened to Ethan. Well, after you and Emily stopped appearing, Zara went insane. She started gathering a huge group of people to oppose you, saying you killed her brother Dash. I waved him off for him to stop. I've killed very few people, all who deserved their fate. Who is her brother? William. She said you killed him for no reason and she wanted justice, and that was to hurt Emily. He hesitated before saying the last part, and I growled so loud my whole pack probably heard me. Noah put a hand on my shoulder, giving me a sad look, but I shoved his arm off of me. I killed him because I discovered he killed my father. That bastard deserved everything I did to him. Anyway, they all became rogues because they all either needed a leader or were her close friends. I did it because she was my friend and of course I believed her. But the things she is doing are cruel. He hung his head in shame and ran his hands through his hair. I think he and Zara were Emily's friends. I just don't know why she would lie to all of the rogues and make them turn against me and my mate, especially if Emily didn't do anything wrong. You think you know where they are? Noah said, getting to the point. Yes, about 3 hours away from here there's a lake and a little farther there's a big building that they go to. I can lead you there. He says, getting up from his seat and pointing to the door. Is this a trick for an attack? Or is he really on our side? Noah, I don't know about him. We are just supposed to believe him? I say through the link. I don't know, man. Maybe we should go though. I mean, not by ourselves but bring warriors with us and hope for the best. If there's an attack waiting for us, we fight. I guess that could work. This is why Noah's my beta. He can think really quickly and know what to do when I don't. We can bring warriors with us to fight if we need to, and if not we can find her if she's there. Pack meeting. I link to my warriors and to Noah. He nods at me and then I look to Ethan. Are you on our side now? Ethan nods. I'll do whatever you ask me to do. I give a quick nod and stand to lead him to the room we have just for meetings. I usher them both to follow me while others come behind me to follow me into the room. We all sit at the huge table and we start making a plan to get my mate back. I draw out a huge map of my neighboring packs and places in the area, and Ethan points to where the location of the building is. No one's been there since, forever. One of my warriors, Gail, said. There's a room where I think they're keeping Emily locked up, and then a bunch of other rooms inside the building where I used to stay in. He stutters, looking at me carefully. Okay, so once we get there everyone splits up around the property. Some of you will come inside with me while some wait around the building just in case we need you. We don't know how many people are in this rogue pack, so we need to be ready. If there is an attack planned for this occasion, we fight till we win. Me and Noah will try to find Emily. If we need to fight we will as well. I say firmly, looking around the room, and everyone nods. Any questions? Noah asks. What will I do? Ethan asks and I roll my eyes. You will be leading me and Noah to where Emily is. Okay. He says, leaning back in his chair. Any other questions? I ask and everyone shakes their heads no, so we get up and prepare to go find my mate. We are coming, Emily. I'll find you and make everyone pay for what they've done. Emily's perspective. I don't know how long it's been since I've been held captive. All I know is that it's been lonely and really painful. Zara's been abusing me every day now, and each day it gets worse. I didn't do anything to her. Why is she doing this? She's using me to get to Liam, but he's not here to see this all happening. What's this accomplishing besides making me weaker and weaker? Liam hasn't come for me yet, which has me worried. Is he coming at all? I hate that I can't do anything. I'm powerless against her and her rogue friends. She has people who abuse me too when she's too lazy to do it herself. They kick me and hit me with all of their force until I'm gasping for air. Yesterday, one even choked me. Well, that was Zara. She would have killed me if Liam wasn't coming for me. Don't you see he isn't? He would have by now. Honestly, through all this pain, not being with him hurts me the most. Having a mate means you don't want to be without them no matter what. You have a pull that's strong, and if you're not with each other you weaken. It's just science. I miss feeling safe too. He made me feel safe. He's always saved me, since day one. I pressed my head gently against the stone walls of the room and closed my eyes. I'm starting to wish death would just welcome me in its open arms. It'd be better than living through the abuse every day. It's like my uncle. He got worse and worse until the day Liam saved me. I heard footsteps and pretended I was asleep. Maybe that would help my chances today. Hello, bitch. Miss me? Her voice made me flinch, so she knew I was awake and chuckled. I opened my eyes and tears began to flow. Please don't hurt me. I said in between sobs. Oh, I won't today, I'm feeling nice. But my friends will. Just tell me where Liam is and I'll let you go and the pain will stop. She's been asking every now and then where he is so they could do a surprise attack on him and the pack. As their Luna-to-be, I have to protect them, and I will no matter the cost. I'll die before they have a chance to kill Liam or the pack. Never. I open my eyes to reveal a furious Zara. Oh no. She slapped me, making the bruise hurt even worse than before. I whimpered in pain and that just made her laugh. Your choice. I know you'll tell me at some point or another. She spat and walks out of the room with a turn on a heel. I huff and look down at my legs. They have bruises and cuts from past abuse and are dirty since I haven't been able to shower since I've been here. I hear voices yelling but I can barely make out anything until I hear stomping of feet towards my door. Here we go again. What did you do? She screams at me and I stare at her with confusion, afraid to say anything and get hurt for it. Are they surrounding us? She yells at someone through the doorway. Who's coming? Has Liam finally come for me? My heart starts pounding and I am finally hopeful I will get out of this place. Shit. She mutters, almost low enough for me not to understand. She glares at me and walks to me, making me flinch and my eyes widen with fear. You did this. She grabs my arm and digs her fingernails into my arm. My mouth opens but nothing comes out as pain courses throughout my arm. I hear a deathly growl come from the doorway and I instantly recognize it as my mate's. I move my head to look at the door and see my mate. He still looks as handsome as ever, just he looks like he hasn't slept in weeks, making me whimper from more than the pain in my arm. As soon as he sees me his face looks pained but then it soon turns into a furious look and he turns to Zara. Zara drops me with a huff and I look at my arm and blood rushes out of the wounds making me gag. Liam lunges for Zara, shifting into his wolf while she shifts into hers. They roll around biting ferociously at each other and I scream when I feel someone grab me from behind. I look at the person and I realize it's just Noah and I hug him, being careful of my arm. Noah, I've missed you so much. I bury myself in his frame and he holds me away from him. We have to go, now. You look so thin, Jess. What did they do to you? He looks sadly at me but then realizes he needs to go and rushes me out of the room, helping me run. But what about Liam? I need to stay with him. I yell and try to walk back to the room but my legs fail me and I fall. Noah helps me back up and looks at me with a pained expression. I know you want to be with him right now but he needs to focus and we need to focus on leaving this place. I nod and we walk out of the building, passing a bunch of fighting werewolves. We get outside and farther from the building when Noah carefully places me on the grass, takes off his clothing, and shifts into his werewolf. I looked away at the taking off clothes part but then when he shifted he nudged me and I knew to climb onto his back. With his help I got onto his back and he ran fast back to the pack house. 3 hours later we arrived at the pack house. He shifted back into his human form and put back on his clothing and carried me inside. We went into the house and I was greeted by 2 worried females. Are you okay? What happened? Maddie says, running into the room. OMG. Emily, you look like a wreck. Sophie says, running into the room and then seeing the state I was in. Thanks. I let out a small laugh while Noah guides me to the couch and I sit down. For about an hour, Sophie and Maddie both cleaned me up and I slowly began to walk again after a month of not walking or eating much. I ate dinner because apparently it's 7 p.m. and quietly waited for Liam's return. My brother needs to hurry his ass up. Maddie says from beside me and frowns. Maddie, you saw him this morning. Sophie says and laughs. Yeah, but we need a Jean reunion. Jean? What's that? I ask and Madison's mouth drops open. You've never heard of a ship name? No. I mock her and she frowns. It's when you want 2 people to be together and you make a name for them both. You just mash their names together and there you go. Wow. I say, dragging out the wow and laugh. He's here. Noah says and we all stand and wait for him to show up at the door. The door opens and Liam barely has any scratches on him from the fight. A gasp leaves my mouth upon seeing him and I run and jump in his arms. His arms wrap around me in a tight hug and I kiss him roughly. He responds to the kiss and I feel tingles shoot throughout my body, making me shiver. Maddie fake gagged and Sophie nudged her arm and said something about not ruining the moment. I stop the kiss to look at him and I immediately smile. Not seeing his face in so long made me really upset, and now that I see his face again, I'm so happy. No one can take that away from me. Are you okay, baby girl? He snaps to reality and he looks me over to find scars, cuts, and bruises all over my body, making me slightly self-conscious. I unwrap my arms around him and try to cover up the worst areas, but Liam sees that and takes my hands in his. Don't cover them up. They just show you're strong and that you are a survivor. He lets go of my hands and he wraps his arms back around me and gives me a quick kiss on the forehead. I lean into him and sighed. I missed this. The others had gone somewhere else to give us privacy and I tried not to smile about that. I love you, Liam says and looks at me in my eyes, making me blush really hard. I love you too, Liam. He kisses me for about a minute until he says, I killed Zara, by the way. I know you had to. I knew she was lying about you killing her brother, by the way. I smile at him assuringly, but then he looks down, guilt written on his face. Wait, you did, didn't you? Yes. I had my reasons, Emily. He looks back up at me with a pained expression. What was the reason? Confusion laced my eyes and he nodded. He understood me questioning him. He killed my father, Princess. My eyes widened and I hugged him. He hugged me back and rubbed my back. I wouldn't ever kill someone on purpose. I'd always have a good reason. I know. The door opens again to reveal Ethan as he shuts the door behind him. Once he sees me he says, Hey Emily, and shyly waves at me. Ethan? What are you doing here? I untangle myself from Liam and walk over to where Ethan was. He helped us find you. Without him you'd still be there. Liam came up behind me and wrapped his arms around my waist as I leaned into him. I'm sorry you had to go through that. I would have helped, I just didn't know how. Ethan said, guilt written on his face. Hey, I'm out, aren't I? I'm with my mate where I belong. You did everything you could have done. He smiled at me and nodded. How have you been besides that whole situation? Great. I have an amazing pack and an amazing mate. I have everything I ever wanted. I smiled back at him. Ethan, how would you like to become a part of the night pack? Liam said suddenly, making me gasp. Ethan in our pack, he could stay. Really? You'd let me after all I've done? Ethan said with shock written all over his face. You helped me find my mate and bring her home. You did everything to prove loyalty to my pack. If you want, I mean dash. Yes, I would love to be a part of the pack. Liam and Ethan shook hands and I smiled happily at the two. The pack can now be happy in harmony. Chapter 23. 7 days have passed since I returned home and I've been happier than ever. Liam and I went out on a date last night and just crashed on the couch and stayed up all night watching Netflix. More like making out half the time, but whatever, don't judge me. Sophie and Madison are happy too. They marked each other while I was gone and are more protective over each other. I can relate. Liam's overprotective of me and has been more protective since he marked me. He's an alpha, so what can I expect? It's now midday and Liam and I are just cuddling with each other on the couch watching Finding Dory. His choice, not mine. Finding Dory is better than Finding Nemo. No exceptions. He crosses his arms and pouts like a 2-year-old. I take his face in my hands. The original, Finding Nemo, is way better than this movie, babe. He frowns at my statement while I just giggle at his scrunched up face. Okay, y'all are cute and all, but please get a room. Madison walks in the living room and plops down on the other couch beside the one Liam and I are laying on. Says the one who was making out with her girlfriend the day you met I in the living room. I stuck out my tongue at her in victory as she rolled her eyes and got off the couch. Leaving so soon? Liam asks playfully, and I try my hardest to cover up a laugh that slipped out, making Liam burst out laughing. I laughed along with him, and we had a laughing fit for about a minute until I realized what part of Finding Dory we were on. Liam, look. I pointed at the screen right as the part was playing of when Dory was dropped into a huge tank to find her family. Oh yeah, I like this part. We snuggle back up on the couch and watch the movie for about another 10 minutes until Noah comes into the room. Hey dude, you wanna go get something to eat? He says while plopping on the couch next to us. What's with people interrupting? Are you ready to eat lunch? Liam asks me with a cute grin on his face. Ever since I've been back, he's been wanting to do everything with me. It's cute, but when I'm in the bathroom he worries that someone could come back without him knowing, which gets annoying after a while. Sure. I smile at his cute grin and we get up off the couch and I go up to the room to get changed. I close the door and go into my closet to find something to wear. Sophie and Madison took everything I got at the mall the day I was taken and put it in my closet for when I returned. I saw the hat I bought and frowned at the memory. That couldn't happen again, right? I mean, they killed everyone who took me or were involved, but I just don't feel comfortable going out in public yet. How am I going to tell Liam? Hey Jess. Liam calls out on the other side of the door. I exited my closet and opened the door to our bedroom to reveal a worried Liam. You ready to go? Can you and Noah go without me? I'll make something here. I try and make the best fake smile I can do, but Liam sees right through it. What's wrong, princess? He asks worriedly, and I sit down on the bed. I sighed. Nothing, just can you? I really don't want to tell him. It's the first time I've been out since that day and I just don't feel comfortable yet. Would he understand? He sat down on the bed next to me and takes my hands in his. I look up into his eyes that always seem to capture me in them and muster a small smile. You know you can tell me anything, right? Liam says lowly. I hesitate and then choose to just tell him. He's not the type of person to judge me. I'm scared, Liam. Of what? There's nothing to worry about, baby girl. He kisses my forehead, making me smile to myself. I'm not ready to go out yet. I know it's been a week, but I'm just not comfortable with being out in public yet. I sit myself in his lap and he wraps his arms around me. He looks up at me and nods in understanding. How about I go get food and bring it back here? I nod my head and smile, which makes him smile back. I give him a quick kiss, which makes a mischievous glint flicker in his eyes. Oh God, what did I do? He cups my rear and brings his lips to mine. I'm at first shocked at his actions, but then just roll with it. I grant him entrance and our tongues dance along with each other's. I let out a small moan as his lips leave my mouth and start sucking on my neck. He stays there for a minute until his lips find my mark he made and the tingles shoot throughout my body, making me gasp. I dig my hands into his hair as he kisses me again, more passionately and more hungrily. I got a sudden boost of confidence and lifted my rear just a bit to move my core right against his little friend. I found out my plan worked when he moaned and placed his hands on the now exposed skin on my sides. His hands go higher and higher until they reach my breasts. He grabs them, making me moan as well, making him chuckle. He looks at me for a minute, making sure it was okay, and when I nod he lifts my shirt over my head, revealing my bra. I move my hands under his shirt and lifts it over his head. I push him on the bed and climb on top of his waist. I move my rear over his little friend and rub against the spot again. He lets out another moan, making goosebumps form on my skin. He flips us so he's on top and starts working at my neck again, where I'm sure will leave marks. My arms go around his neck as we make out for a few minutes until we hear footsteps and the door suddenly bursts open. Dude, when are we? Oh my God, y'all are okay. I gasp, trying to cover myself, but Liam moves in front of me protectively and growls. Noah immediately turns around while I cover myself with the bed covers. What do you want, Noah? I sighed. I was seeing what we were doing for lunch, but I guess I know what y'all wanted. He runs out of the room, knowing his fate if he stayed longer. Liam turns around to me and rolls his eyes at Noah's actions. I better go get the food so Noah doesn't come back. I'll be back soon, princess. He kisses my forehead and pulls his shirt over his head, making me frown to myself. He could have left the shirt off. Okay. What are you getting, by the way? I ask, putting my shirt back on. Wendy's. Once he gets his shirt back on, he walks over to me and leans over in my ear. We're finishing this later. He whispers huskily, making me shiver. Oh boy. Noah's perspective, what a shock. I sprinted from Liam and Emily's bedroom straight to the vehicle so I could depart without Liam if necessary. Those two bizarre children. I craved nourishment. I lingered for approximately 5 minutes and activated the automobile radio where Bad at Love by Halsey erupted from the sound system. I observed Liam emerging from the pack dwelling, and the moment he shut the entrance he thrust his middle digit at me and proceeded walking toward the vehicle. The instant he opened the passenger entrance beside me, I pretended to gasp. How audacious of you to gesture at me rudely, I declared with feigned pain threading my tone. Liam rotated his eyes. Yeah, let's depart. I'm not abandoning this topic yet. Additionally, that's Emily's responsibility. Oh, hold on. I let my words fade, causing Liam to strike me in the arm. Be quiet, dude, he grumbles with a smile on his face. He's definitely been intimate with her. I reversed out of the enormous driveway and traveled away from the pack dwelling, anticipating seeing the primary street to transport us to Wendy's. Hey buddy, can I inquire about something without it becoming uncomfortable? I ask timidly, becoming earnest. Yes, certainly, what's happening? Liam responds while reclining back into the automobile seat. Why haven't I discovered my soulmate yet? Everyone's locating their soulmates and here I am without one. I mean, that's all I can contemplate lately. He exhales and gazes at me earnestly. I'm uncertain. I'm confident you'll discover her shortly. What if something occurred to her? What if she perished? Am I simply going to remain without a mate? I'm confident that's not the situation. That's uncommon, friend. Don't stress too much regarding it and attempt to concentrate on something different. You'll locate her, I'm certain of it. He taps my back and I halt at a crimson light. If you declare so. Isn't yours and Emily's 1 year approaching? I inquire, getting into a more cheerful disposition. Yeah, I'm arranging a massive surprise for her. He beams from ear to ear, just contemplating her. It's genuinely adorable how much they cherish each other. What are you accomplishing for her? I ask and drive into the parking area at Wendy's. I locate a vacant parking space and drive into it, making the automobile come to a halt. It's a surprise. He displays his typical smirk and exits the automobile, making me rotate my eyes. Like I won't discover before anyone else. I emerge from the automobile and trail Liam into Wendy's. We selected to go inside rather than the drive-thru because the drive-thru contained too many individuals. The moment I enter, I detect an unusual scent. Friend. I'm not certain about this. I retreat into the entrance but immediately apologize to the family I prevented from entering the door. What's incorrect? Liam whispered back at me and I inhaled the atmosphere again, but this time I detected it more intensely. It wasn't a danger. Never mind, let's just obtain our nourishment. I shake my head and approach the counter. Suddenly the scent strikes me more powerfully as it's a mint and chocolate essence. As it becomes stronger, the woman approaches me to place our order. Hey, welcome to Wendy's, how may I assist? She glances up at me and my eyes connect with her emerald ones. She inhales sharply and we both declare it simultaneously. Soulmate. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for part 3.